Bum 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 bum. Ba 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 bum. Hello everybody. We have a lovely drum lesson today for you. We are going to talk about using the crash cymbal. I've got two here. And the crash cymbal is a very useful and exciting thing to incorporate into your playing. Now, let's say that we're playing some rock stuff and we have a normal 8-beat going on. The most normal place to put a crash cymbal would be on the first beat of a bar. So it's useful practicing an 8-beat starting on a crash. So an 8-beat would normally start with that bass drum, right? So let's try an 8-beat which starts on a crash. If you happen to be on a drum kit right now, try that with me. Bass plus crash, then back to your hi-hats, and then snare drum and so on. Boosh and snare and. Let's do that. 1, 2, 3, go. There you go. You can also loop that little skill. A whole bar of 8-beat and then another crash. And then another one. So let's try a few of those together after 4. 1, 2, 3, go. And again. And that's the way a crash cymbal is normally used. Kind of like a capital letter at the start of a sentence, you know? You want something to start big and impressive. And that's what crash cymbals are all about. Now, to put this into practice a little bit, I have a piece of music we're going to learn. Let me just get this in the picture nicely here. Is that all right? That looks good. Okay, the piece is called Pop in a Crash. And what do we need to know? We start at the very start with a little bit of introduction. We have some quavers on the snare drum plus low tom together. Coffee, 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 tea. This is a snare drum by itself. And during this little introduction-y bit, we have a crescendo. A posh word, that is, isn't it? A crescendo. P for piano increases gradually into F for forte. So our coffees into our tea is going to go coffee, 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 tea. And the T even has an arrowhead above it, which is an accent. So this one wants to be super loud. Then you settle into your 8-beat. Here's where the business begins. HH tells us to be on the hi-hats. So we'll play this bar of 8-beat on the hi-hats. And the repeat is obviously the same. The first one is circled because that is the crash cymbal. This 8-beat is going to begin on a crash. Boosh and snare and blah da 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 da. Now, here's a tricky thing about crashes when you're playing rock beats. Often we read a rock beat and then we have to repeat it several times, in this case just once. And the unwritten rule is you don't put the crash in all your repeats. So there will be a crash here, there won't be a crash in the repeat. And just to make certain, it says NC, which is shorthand for no crash. So, a bar of hi-hat 8-beat that starts on a crash, a repeat of that bar with no crash, and then we have one of these little repeat signs, the 2 lines, the 2 dots. We are bounced back to the crash, and we repeat it. We repeat the no crash bar, and then we're done with that section. The next little section, which has repeats at the beginning and the end, is exactly the same, but it's on ride cymbal, RC for ride cymbal, not hi-hats. And again, you do a no crash repeat, you bounce back and do the whole thing again, and then you are done with that section. Here, you are back to the hi-hats, and this, when I'm teaching this, I call this the very crashy hi-hats bit, because there's a crash on this bass drum, and then this bass drum also. Boosh and snare and boosh and snare and then we get the same thing at the end as we had at the start. The big building up crescendo on the snare plus low tom, big loud snare, and one final bosh to finish off. So let's give that a bit of a play. I'm back. The very introduction bit right here, snare plus low tom, coffee, 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 tea. Sounds like this. Okay, try one of those with me. Both hands, and then one big whack. 3 and 4 and. That's what that does. Then you are into the crashy hi-hats bit. I will do that and the repeat, and I'll bounce back and do it again. Here it comes from there. 2, 3, 4. No crash here. Bounce back and do it again. No crash here. And that line's finished. Next line starts with the same repeaty section, but you use the ride cymbal, not the hi-hats. Let's do that bit together. It goes 1, 2, 3, and. No crash here. Bounce back and do it again. No crash here. And that's that repeaty section done with. Then we come to my favourite bit, the very crashy hi-hats bit. 2 crashes in this bar with both bass drums. It's going to sound like. Alright, let's do one more of those. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're back to the same job we started with. The build up, the whack, and a final crash, which goes 3 and 4 and. Now, a mistake people like to make there is they go coffee, 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 coffee. But you must be patient with the 2 crotchets, the 2 T's. Coffee, 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 tea, tea. That doesn't feel so big of a gap when you're doing it up to speed. But we'll go slowly first, so be patient with your T's when we're going slowly. Okay, once you're happy with those bits we've just learned, move on to this next stage. We'll try putting the whole thing together. Let's be official and pick a speed here. Not that speed. Click. Right. What's a good slow speed? We'll go at 70, which is. Let's go at 60. Right, here is the whole piece at 60 beats per minute. Should be quite easy if you're happy with playing 8 beats. After 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. No crash. Bounce back. No crash. Next line. Bounce back and do that again. No crash. Then the very crashy bit. Last line. Okay, cool. There's the whole piece at 60. If that is a challenging speed for you, please do it a few more times before you move on. Let's boost that up to 70. I'll just bang through a few of these so you can go through at whichever speed you like, as many times as you want. Here's the whole thing at 70. After 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Bounce back. Move on. Bounce back. Move on. Okay, very cool. That's 70. If that's a challenging speed for you, do it a few more times before you move on. But here comes 80. Same thing at 80. After 4, 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Bounce back. Move on. Bounce back. Move on. Okay, cool. That's 80. If you kept up with that, well done. Here it comes at 90 for you. Move on to this when you are ready. Starting to get a bit lively now. After 4, 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4. There you have it. If you're ready to move on, I'll do 100 next. If you're not ready to move on, go do the slower ones again. Build strength at your own rate. Don't try anything too fast, because it'll only end in disappointment. That's a golden rule. We like slow and good much better than we like fast and wrong. Here comes 100. 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 3, go! That's 100. I don't have anything clever to say about that at all. Right, let's do a couple more. I'm not just going to go up to 110 now, though. I'm going to bump it up to 115. We're going to take some bigger steps. Right, here's 115. Same thing, but the speed's really building now. After 4, we're doing it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Yikes, it's starting to really come alive now. If you're ready to move on with me, we will do 130. This is starting to really come to life. Da, 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 da. After 4, we're going to do it. 1 and 2 and 3 and go! Okay, now that's very, very quick. If any of my students played that as quick as that, I'd be very pleased. I wouldn't expect a beginner drummer to get near that speed. If someone's going to get that fast and do it well, they've probably been playing for at least 2 or 3 years, or less if they've practiced loads, but that's a pretty advanced speed. 130. Let's bump it up to 145 in case anyone really wants to suffer. Coffee, 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 tea. Bosh a buff, a bosh a buff. Right, here it comes at 145. 1, 2, 3, go! I was always going to make a mistake. What a shame. I'll do that again. 145. After 1 and 2 and 3 and go! Right, that was the good 145. Now, if I go any faster than that, it'll just get silly. Just get silly. So let's get silly. 160. This is ludicrous. Ba, 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 ba. Junga banga, junga banga. Right, 160. 1, 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and go. Ridiculous. Okay, and a final challenge in case anyone is desperate for ridiculously fast. Just so we've done it, I'll do 180 and then I'm going to stop and have a cup of tea and sleep because this is tough business. Right, wish me luck. After 4, 1, 2, 3, go! Phew! Right, there you go, 180. That's all you're getting out of me. And that is Pop in a Crash. A nice little piece just to practice sticking a crash in amongst your 8 beats. What other information can I give you before we end? Try and be creative with the crash cymbal, okay? Just like everything we ever learn, the important thing is how you use it, where you use it. Can you use it interestingly? The places I've been putting crashes in that piece, they're quite standard. That's designed for people who are just starting to learn how to put a crash in. How else can you learn? How else can you use it? Move it around in your 8-beat, okay? If you count an 8-beat like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, the obvious place to put it is on the 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Try putting it on the 2 instead. That's where a snare drum lives. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Try sticking it on the 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Try sticking it on a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's got a snare drum as well. If you know the band Metallica, their drummer, who's called Lars Ulrich, he likes to put a crash on the 2. That's like his signature thing, right? So he'll be playing a rock beat. And 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there you go. There's an exercise related to this which I like. We're going to play 4 bars of 8-beat. In the first bar, we're going to crash on the 1. In the second bar, we're going to crash on the 2. Third bar, crash on 3. Fourth bar, crash on 4. Sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's quite cool. I'll try that one more time a bit faster in case anyone wants to play along. 1 and 2 and here we go. 1, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's cool. That's how you use a crash cymbal. Okay, so we've learned a piece called Pop in a Crash. We've played it at some crazy speeds and some sensible speeds. Practice whichever speeds are best for you. And be patient as you progress, like always. And try and be creative with everything you play. Try and make it interesting, right? And the crash is a great tool to do that. It's a great way just to make the drum kit sound huge for a second. You know, stick a crash in. And that is the end of our lesson. Thank you very much for watching and playing along. Happy practicing and bye.